Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crappy Design. If you're in the United States and over the age of 18, hopefully you did your civic duty today and went out and voted to help stop the distribution of crappily designed products across the country and maybe even the world, because some countries here export to the rest of the world. Hashtag Stop Crappy Design 2018, but maybe don't, because then we won't have ammo for the subreddit. We'll start off with number 19. Anyone looking for a professional? Lamb, I am a professional graphics designer. My services: flyer, banner, video ads. I'm getting a heck of a shifty side eye right here. I'm gonna come across as really mean if his eyes look like that, but it looks like maybe he's enlarged his eyes a little bit for dramatic effect in that avatar. But also, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Maybe he's undercover, all right? Maybe this man is the most incredible graphics designer the world has ever seen, and purposefully, he's just, making the banner look real low budget so that you're really, really surprised by the work you actually end up receiving. She thought she was sending me the emoji on top, but the one on the bottom was what my phone displayed. Definitely a potential for miscommunication there. Oh, was this across, different applications or something like that? It must have been. There was some miscommunication between how, one app that didn't have something installed, or maybe it's like an Android to iOS kind of thing. Yeah. Putting the bathroom light switch right beside the fire alarm control switch in an elderly person's home. And it looks exactly the same, too. There's not even a differentiation if you're, in the middle of the night and you're old and you're kind of just feeling around for it. You're just like, oh, that feels right. Boom. Hit all the fire. What are fire control switches as well? I don't think I have ever seen that in a house. Maybe it's not a United States thing. It's whatever country has the red, white, and red flag. Maybe it's made to represent the country's flag where this is at, but I've not seen it. But that doesn't seem smart. I'm gonna reach for the first switch that I feel on the wall when I'm going into a bathroom and it's dark. And I'm certainly not expecting that to start blaring out a fire alarm. All right? Found this in my physics textbook. This child. I feel like they could have just done silhouettes or something. But instead, this is the most horrifying looking child. It just looks like a mannequin. These two adults, they're swinging around a mannequin. It's just a thing that they enjoy doing. Is they don't really want to commit to having a child, but at the same time, they want to be able to feel the joy that is swinging a child between their arms without any commitment. So they just went and bought a mannequin on Amazon. They swing it around a little bit. Crash test dummy. It's great. The mirror in my hotel room lets anyone look in on the bed, even with the curtains closed. Yeah, I feel like that's a bit of an afterthought right there. They probably designed the hotel rooms with, you don't usually get into that much nitty-gritty detail when it comes to how far out from the wall the curtains are going to hang on the plans for the rooms. They probably planned, all right, we're going to put a mirror in all these hotel rooms here. Then they mass ordered all of the curtains, mounted the curtains. It's definitely something you probably don't realize until after the fact. And they're like, well, we've already dropped a whole bunch of money buying all these curtains in mass, so they're staying. A bench at a metro station. Ah, yes. I love functional benches where I can't sit properly. I mean, if you don't want people to touch the plants that you've planted right above the bench, maybe end them slightly out of reach. Someone's gonna sit down and just real tired after a long day. All right, they're just waiting for the train to come, and then they just lean back at the bench and wham their head right into a metal bar. Vandalize people's heads rather than them vandalizing the flowers. I mean, it's self-explanatory, and they failed. 3 bells, bar, and Korean kitchen. If we do only 3 bells here, we're gonna have to stretch them. They're gonna look really not proportional in the horizontal direction, unless we go and the spacing is gonna be all off on the sign. What do? Do we change to 4 bells, or do we just add a 4th and keep our name as 3 bells? I don't know what to do here, folks. What's the best solution? Let's just add a 4th bell. No one will notice that the name is different from the amount of bells on the sign. There was no other alternative here, folks. That's all they could do was add a fourth. Meanwhile, smash that bell button. Make sure you have notifications turned on. There's only one bell here on YouTube, and that's the only one you need to know about. So smash it. We need to decorate the toilet for the disabled. Say no more. Is it specifically a restroom for, like on the outside? Does it say, hey, this is a restroom that is for people with disabilities? Or is it just a general restroom that also accommodates people with disabilities? Because there is a difference here. Though I will say that with the handles, and this is also one of the extended sinks for use with a wheelchair, so it does look geared towards that, while also at the same time being like, look at all of these activities. There are better ways to keep people inspired, I think, than stickers. It just makes it look really low budget. Do not look away at the road. Don't look away. You can be the one to change your life. Don't look. Oh, it's not even like a distracted driving, don't text and drive kind of thing. I can kind of get it if it's like, don't look away. Distracted driving is dangerous, in which case, well, the billboard is only contributing to my being distracted, so there's a certain amount of irony there. But this doesn't even have to do with that. It's not trying to send a message. It's just telling me I shouldn't pay attention to what they're saying. But also, we're paying for this ad, so you should pay attention. And it is for a charitable cause, it looks like, so that's good. I guess maybe I was misinterpreting it. It's don't look away from the billboard at the road. Don't look at the road. Don't pay attention to the road. The road is not important. There's no way that you could get into an accident in this heavy traffic if you're not paying attention to it at all. Pay attention to the billboard. It's more important than the road. Bold choice of layout for this type of magazine binding. V-Man, Timothy Chalamet. I wonder if he knew that this was like, he got a proof of the magazine before it went out to full distribution and he knew this was happening, or did the guy, like, he goes to his nearest magazine stand, he's like, this is so exciting, I'm on the cover of a magazine, there's a big spread about me, and it opens it up and is like, chop my face in half. This is a spread about me being a model. I can't believe this. A day in the life. The breakout star of Call Me By Your Name is the picture of a modern leading man. Look closely. Pay attention. Is creepy pizza serving its own kind as food? It just chops off pieces of itself, slowly but surely diminishing its own stature in a selfless act to provide the world with pizza. It knows how delicious it actually is, and it has slices to spare. You know, as one slice is the head, one large slice is the body, and then shoes. The shoes don't seem very edible, but the rest of it is. It'd be so weird if you changed this scenario and it was like a human serving pieces of other humans for pieces of pizza to consume in some alternate universe where pizzas are the dominant life form and us humans are a delicacy that's eaten as much as pizza. Can you imagine if humans were as tasty as pizza? We'd be in trouble. Cannibalism would be rampant. Holds up to, but not quite, 1,000 pounds. Holds up to 1,000 pounds, displayed with 810 pounds. At least the advertising is very honest. Maybe that was the whole idea, is that a disgruntled worker was like, this thing sucks. Let's make sure that everyone knows it sucks so they don't buy it and have it suck and fall when something valuable is on it, or smash their foot while they're retrieving something. This is a good advertisement. This is very true. This wheel to type in a name on an iPhone. Please register your nickname. That looks like the Akinator font. Is that the Akinator font? Are you signing up a nickname to play some Akinator on your phone? Okay, I know that there's always a lot of like iOS hate on here, but what I will say in this situation is that generally you're able to type things in if you're filling out fields. What I bet happened here is that in designing the website, they didn't properly set it up so that this field would be a free text entry field. They probably did it so that it was one of these kinds of things, which is valid to do, in other situations when it's not like a fully free response and you have certain characters that you're allowed to select. So this is more on the website's end. It's not like you don't have the ability to type what you want on an iPhone. This is more like the DMV website, where it's the DMV website's fault for not just stupid. God, I want to free type in my license plate number. I don't want to have to scroll through a pull down menu every time I want to choose a letter. Same thing. I don't think it's the OS. Thought this was a broken and poorly fixed hula hoop at my local toy store until I picked up another. Turns out it's the actual design. That doesn't seem very secure to attach your hula hoop by a single staple. Also, that seems like what if you're shirtless? A lot of people hula hoop like at the beach or at a rave or something like that. And so maybe there's very minimal clothing going on, shirtless or like an exposed midriff. And then you're flailing this thing around that has a nice jagged plastic seam on it that can cut you. I would hope people probably notice that before they buy it, but you never. Also, yeah, what if you're doing it on your arm? That's usually not going to be covered. Most people who do hula hoops are not like, all right, I got to don my protective long sleeve safety gear before I hoop. There's a lot of hazards that can happen. The hoop can get caught on your skin. That's like you literally had one job, to not let this thing catch on people's skin. Unbelievable. I needed some edible eyeballs for a Halloween party snack. These were inside a larger bag. It's like a squished marshmallow. You can't do that. That's so bad. You can't do that. Imagine like trying to do just an open bowl where they're not individually wrapped, which I kind of prefer the individual wrapping for sanitary reasons if you're at a Halloween party kind of scenario. But even so, it just turns from a bowl of eyeballs to just, are those squished marshmallows? You can't put the design on the package and not on the actual product, okay? You're gonna lose customers that way. This is a one-time play on your part. You're gonna do these for one Halloween only. Hopefully you make your windfall and then you're out, because nobody's gonna buy them again. And then there are gonna be other people in this market who actually invest time and effort to reel candy eyeballs that have the graphic on them, and now you've ruined the reputation of them, even though they're putting out a good quality product. Look closely between 7.5 and 8.0. I'm assuming there's like an extra notch in there, probably. 4. And then it appears that there are 5 notches in there. That's math. You really, in the case of this ruler, there's really no excuse here. You can't just decide to add an extra notch. This is important, okay? What if this was used on the space shuttle? Because we all know NASA engineers are pulling out the elementary school rulers to work on the space shuttle, okay? If you're off by a millimeter because of some stupid error, that's the last thing you're expecting, is to have to verify, okay, does this actually have all my centimeters properly spaced out here? Or are there any extras in there? This is the last thing you're trying to verify, okay? Think, 1 millimeter could probably crash a space shuttle. This is unacceptable. This is going to cause real damage somewhere. Unbelievable. And you know if it's on one, they use this same graphic to print thousands, millions. So there are thousands, potentially, of these rulers out there in schools, and there's an extra notch. It is 11 millimeters between the 7 and the 8. That is not okay. Not at all. When your security gate is a ladder. Maybe it's a good neighborhood. They're not super worried. You know, the whole metal bar thing, it looks really intimidating. And they have it recessed a little bit so that, you know, when you get to the top of the gate part, you still have this, kind of have to go back a little bit. So that could discourage any criminals looking to jump that thing. Or they could just grab onto that and then use the rest as footholds and be over in a jiffy and then get back out. It's not terribly difficult. Let's be honest, at that height, anyone who really wants to get over it, no matter if there are any bars here or not, they could probably get over it. It doesn't look terribly difficult to do. You could probably grab onto the top and, hoist yourself over, no matter even if it was completely solid. Makes it a little easier, I suppose, for small children to be able to follow their adult burglar parents or something like that. The clock hands don't glow. What time is it? Time to get a new clock. We forgot to make it so that you can actually see where the hands are. It's almost like that's the second most important thing. We create a useless product. Let's sell it anyway. Maybe people won't notice. Oh boy, that's top quality. There really is. This is some quality content. I can't believe you found this. I hope you bought this and are pleasantly disappointed. At least you got internet karma points out of your purchase. Smart. Okay, well, that's gonna do it for this last month of Crappy Design. I hope you've enjoyed. Make sure to like if you like. Check out the playlist in the description if you want to catch the other Crappy Design videos. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time.